His voice rang out in tears, and the warlords mourned in answer, each remembering those he had left behind at home. Seeing their grief, the father, filled with pity, quickly turned to Athena with winging words. "My child, have you abandoned him forever, your favorite man of war? Is it all lost now? No more care for Achilles left inside your heart? There he huddles before his curving beaked ships, racked with grief for his dear friend, while others scatter, settling down to their meal. He's fasting, never fed. Go, run and instill some nectar and sweet ambrosia deep within his chest. Stave off his hunger now." So he urged Athena, already poised for action. Down the sky she swooped through the clear bright air, like a shrieking, sharp-winged hawk. And while Achaeans quickly armed throughout the encampment, she instilled some nectar and sweet ambrosia deep in Achilles' chest, so the stabbing pangs of hunger could not sap his knees. Then back to her mighty father's sturdy halls she went as troops moved out, pouring out of the fast trim ships. Thick and fast as the snow comes swirling down from Zeus, frozen sharp when the north wind born in heaven blasts it on. So massed, so dense the glistening burnished helmets shone, streaming out of the ships, and shields with jutting bosses, breastplates welded front and back, and the long ashen spears. The glory of armor lit the skies, and the whole earth laughed, rippling under the glitter of bronze, thunder resounding under trampling feet of armies. And in their midst the brilliant Achilles began to arm for battle. A sound of grinding came from the fighter's teeth. His eyes blazed forth in searing points of fire. Unbearable grief came surging to his heart. And now, bursting with rage against the men of Troy, he donned Hephaestus' gifts, magnificent armor the god of fire forged with all his labor. First he wrapped his legs with well-made greaves, fastened behind his heels with silver ankle clasps. Next he strapped the breastplate round his chest, then over his shoulder Achilles slung his sword, the fine bronze blade with its silver-studded hilt, then hoisted the massive shield flashing far and wide like a full round moon. And gleaming bright as the light that reaches sailors out at sea, the flare of a watch-fire burning strong in a lonely sheepfold up some mountain slope, when the gale winds hurl the crew that fights against them far over the fish-swarming sea, far from loved ones. So the gleam from Achilles' well-wrought blazoned shield shot up and hit the skies. Then lifting his rugged helmet, he set it down on his brows, and the horsehair crest shone like a star, and the waving golden plume shook, that Hephaestus drove in bristling thick along its ridge. And brilliant Achilles tested himself in all his gear. Achilles spun on his heels to see if it fitted tightly, see if his shining limbs ran free within it. Yes, and it felt like buoyant wings lifting the great captain. And then, last, Achilles drew his father's spear from its socket stand, weighted, heavy, tough. No other Achaean fighter could heft that shaft. Only Achilles had the skill to wield it well. Pelian ash it was, a gift to his father Peleus, presented by Chiron once, hewn on Pelian's crest to be the death of heroes. Now the war team, Alcimus and Automedon, worked to yoke them quickly. They cinched the supple breast straps round their chests, and driving the bridle irons home between their jaws, pulled the reins back taut to the bolted chariot. Seizing a glinting whip, his fist on the hand grip, Automedon leapt aboard behind the team, and behind him Achilles struck his stance, helmed for battle now, glittering in his armor like the sun astride the skies, his ringing, daunting voice commanding his father's horses. Roan beauty and charger, illustrious foals of Lightfoot, try hard, do better this time. Bring your charioteer back home alive to his waiting Argive comrades, once we're through with fighting. Don't leave Achilles there on the battlefield as you left Patroclus, dead. And roan beauty, the horse with flashing hoofs, spoke up from under the yoke, bowing his head low, so his full mane came streaming down the yoke pads, down along the yoke to sweep the ground. The white-armed goddess Hera gave him voice. Yes, we will save your life, this time too, master mighty Achilles. But the day of death already hovers near, and we are not to blame, but a great God is, and the strong force of fate. Not through our want of speed or any lack of care did the Trojans strip the armor off Patroclus's back. It was all that matchless God, sleek-haired Leto's son. He killed him among the champions and handed Hector glory. Our team could race with the rush of the west wind, the strongest, swiftest blast on earth, men say. Still you are doomed to die by force, Achilles, cut down by a deathless god in mortal man. He said no more. The fury struck him dumb. But the fiery runner Achilles burst out in anger. Why, roan beauty, why prophesy my doom? Don't waste your breath. I know, well I know. I am destined to die here, far from my dear father, far from mother. But all the same I will never stop till I drive the Trojans to their bloody fill of war. A high stabbing cry, and out in the front ranks he drove his plunging stallions.